Professor Shin, nice to meet
Yes.
you. Nice to meet you. It's Rawan.
Yeah, I cannot see your face.
I know. Lukpanov Rawan.
Oh, Rawan. Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see.
yeah.
I see, I see.
Nice to meet you.
Now you are big professor.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Dear colleagues, it's time to start our council meeting. And first of all, I would like to deep thanks all of you for taking time to be today here with us. I understand your full-time busy schedule, and I appreciate your participation today in our council meeting. And according to agenda, I would like to introduce our council meeting members and permanent members of dissertation council for person. My name is Lukpanov Roman Yermagombetovich. I'm chairman of the dissertation council, PhD, associate professor, research lecturer, acting professor of the Department of Technology of Industrial and Civil Engineering in Eurasian National University. And next member is Dusimbinov Duman Serikovich, Deputy Chairman of the Dissertation Council, candidate of Technical Science, acting Associate Professor of the Department of Technology of Industrial and Civil Engineering of our university. Next, Yankibaev Serik Bisingalievich, permanent member of the Dissertation Council, candidate of Technical Science, PhD, associate professor of the Department of Construction, Eurasian National University. Our scientific secretary is Zhumagulova Adia Askarovna. She is candidate of Technical Science, associate professor of the Department of Technology of Industrial and Civil Engineering. Next is temporary members of the Dissertation Council, three-person, Ankit Grag, PhD, Associate Professor, Department of Civil and Smart Construction Engineering, Shantou University, China. Yun Chol Shin, PhD, Chairman, Korea Consultant Corporation, Incheon, Republic of Korea. Next is Jin Yuan Wang, PhD, Associate Professor, School of Civil Engineering and Architecture. Okay, thank you. Wuhan University of Technology. Next is official reviewers. Dusenbaev Izim Nasevich, Doctor of Technical Science, Professor, Department of Construction Engineering, Yusenov University, Aktau, Kazakhstan. Next is John Subli, PhD Professor, School of Civil, Environmental and Architectural Engineering, Korea University, Seoul, Republic of Korea. The scientific advisor of our contender, PhD student, Jusubekov Askar Parovich, Doctor of Technical Science, Professor of Department of Civil Engineering, Director of Geotechnical Institute of Eurasian National University. Budahima Indraranta, PhD, Distinguished Professor, School of Civil and Environmental Engineering, University of Technology, Sydney, Australia. Now let us proceed to the registration in system Smart INU, and I would like to give floor to our secretary. She gives us instruction how to register on this platform. Please, Aria.
Hello, dear members of Dissertation Council. I ask all of you to register in our information system, Smart INU KZ. Please go to the site, Smart INU KZ, and also I have sent you the document with your login and password. Okay, so Dear colleagues, can you see my screen? This is Smart KZ. Так, они не видят, да?
선생님 뭐 아이디 받으신 거 있으세요? 잠깐만. 근데 어떻게 강박사한테 뭐?
Okay, dear professors, Smart KZ site. This is platform for vote. So this is the start page of the site. Have you entered the site?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Please enter your login and password. This is login system. Enter your login and password according to the document I have sent. So, Professor Shin, is it okay? Professor Wong?
It's okay, yeah.
All right. So, as you see, the contact menu to the left of the page, you can find scientific activity, bottom, and the dissertation council, the next. And the doctoral student card. It is opened. Go to the second page and find our doctoral student, Брагарь Елена Petrovna. She is the last in the list of doctoral student in the card. Изим Насиевич. Ага,
Да,
Изим Насиевич.
а где пароль? Найди взять.
Я вам на почту отправила. Ага.
Да?
Проверьте, да, документ.
ID я включил, а пароль отправил на почту. А, на почту отправил или в это?
Да. Давайте я вам на WhatsApp переправлю.
WhatsApp, пожалуйста, ага, здесь я вижу.
Excuse us. I'll stop the showing my screen. Так.
Password, please.
Да, вот у него. Он у нас в системе был.
Почты тоже нету.
Сейчас, да, минуточку. Вы, оказывается, у нас в системе уже находитесь. Просто вам должны обновить логин. Сейчас, минуточку, подождите. Не переживайте, все хорошо.
Hello. I have one
Ага.
question.
Окей. Изим Насиевич, не переживайте, сейчас мы вам обновим логин и пароль. Я пока...
Хорошо, хорошо, да.
Да, я пока
Жақсы, бәрі де
коллегам
жөнді
нашим
болады.
покажу. Okay, dear colleagues.
Yeah.
Sorry for our technical problems, some technical problems. So you can
know-
find our doctoral student, Брагарь Е, and now
No.
can you see the
One
button?
question.
What?
Actually, we don't have I don't know the password. I don't know enter IIN or platinum
Okay.
mail. Could
So
you
smart
share us? I already entered the smartenu.kz.
우리도 갖고 있는 거 아니야, 그거? Yeah, the same problem we have.
We don't have any account or password here.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
아이디하고 패스워드가
I
있어요?
have-
그런 거 없어.
Так, dear
그들이랑
professor. Так, Чунку. Dear Professor Lee, can you enter to your email? I
Yeah.
have sent you
ID and password, right?
the 7th February.
2nd February.
7th.
7th. Okay, let me
Yes.
see.
John Sapley.
Yeah. Who is the center?
Ади Жумагулова, ZAASKA Askarovna.
Let me see. You said the 7th, right? Let me see.
I can resend it right now.
Could you please send me again? Because I don't have that kind of mail.
Okay.
Let me see.
The secret number, ID number, and the
No,
ID
not
number.
ID number. Login is the number in our system. Professor Shin.
Yes.
I also have sent it this document with login and password for you to email.
Oh.
Now.
Они на WhatsApp быстрее отвечают.
Нет, не у всех есть.
Есть. Пиши на и открывай.
Не надо, я на почту. Okay, I have sent it for you.
Профессор Ли тоже есть.
Professor Shin. Так. Professor Wong, is it okay?
I'm okay. Yeah, I have.
You have entered the site.
Yeah, I have entered. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Professor Lee?
Let me check here because still I didn't get any emails from you. Could you please send me again?
I have resent it.
Okay, I would like to remind you the meeting that
Okay.
but I will send the login password for platform. But you didn't send me that ones yet.
저기 있나 왼쪽에?
Демонстрация же нету, да? Нет, не надо. Серик Бесенгалевич, можете вот это скинуть Ли? Вот я вам только что, да, это логин и пароль. И теперь Шину, да?
Okay, I think.
Professor Shin?
Yes, it's working.
Have you
I think
received?
it's, yeah, I can see. Just a moment, we are working on it.
Okay, let me see.
Professor Lee, I send you by WhatsApp.
Okay, let me see.
And password.
Okay.
Yeah.
이게 되는 거 아니야?
By WhatsApp.
Oh, good. Okay, I see. I got the Let me see. I'll enter. The first one is the ID, second one is the password, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, yes.
Good, it works. It works. Thank you.
Professor Shin?
Yeah, I almost get it. Just wait.
So, Professor Shin, can you check
Yeah.
your email
Oh no,
box?
I
Uh-huh.
already have.
Okay.
I
Have you
already
entered
but
the platform?
no,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's how I received it already. We are working on it.
Mm-hmm. Изим Насиевич, вы на связи?
Да.
Так. Изим Насиевич, я вам отправляю ваш логин.
На Wi-Fi?
Да,
То есть
WhatsApp.
на WhatsApp? А, вот, что такое?
Так, вот
Это же
логин.
мой ID, ага, это мой ID же. Это.
Да, ID ваш.
ID and password, please.
In. Ага, and password I'm sending.
Just a moment.
От потом.
Where is password? I don't see it. Не
Окей.
вижу.
Вот. This is your password.
Әзірше жоқ.
WhatsApp'та?
WhatsApp не келді. ID келді.
Ага.
Оны менікі ғой. Это my
Все.
ID.
Кешіріңіз. Я енді келді ма?
Yes. Ага, скрин.
Жақсы.
Скрин. Қаяқта мен ашып қойған.
Вот так.
Астана 20-25 ма? Так. Астана. 2025, да?
So, okay.
Yep.
Dear professors, is it
Так.
okay? Have you entered our platform?
Информация неправильно говорят там сейчас. В чем дело?
Изим Насиевич,
О. Все
кірдіңіз
ясно.
ба платформаға?
Сейчас. Қазір кіріп жатырмын.
Жақсы.
Кіріп жатырмын. Так. Что здесь надо?
Dear colleagues,
Сохранить пароль дейді. Сохранять, да?
жақсы, да, сохраните.
Так, теперь что здесь? Сменить, продолжить без смены. Что тут здесь? Ничего не надо?
Продолжить, да, без смены.
Продолжить без смен, да? Так.
Ашылды ма?
Пока ашылған жоқ. Но не ашылып тұрған. Просто картинки. Добро пожаловать, Есенбай.
Да, все, правильно.
Жоқ, ештеңе нетпеймін бе мен? Толтырмаймын ба, ары қарай?
Так, Изим Насиевич, енді сол жағында меню бар.
Иә.
Научная деятельность. Қазақша ма, орысша ма, ағылшынша қай тілде сізде?
Орысша бар екен, так.
Орысша, научная деятельность кіресіз.
Так, кірдім.
Да, оның ішінде диссертационные советы.
Так, кірдім.
Ага, и карточка докторанта.
Так, нажимаю.
Да. Теперь пролистайте в конце, там найдете на второй странице Брагарь Елена. So, excuse me, dear colleagues.
Загружается, сейчас. Downloading it.
Подождите, все, найдите и пока ничего не нажимайте.
Professor Lee.
Okay.
На второй странице, да? On the 2 page.
Так, okay, you have entered this page, and to the left, you can see scientific activity.
I'm fine, Брагарь Елена Петровна.
This, push the button, and you see dissertation council.
Right.
Okay. So the next step is doctoral student cut. Please.
Right.
Enter. And
Last one.
under the page, you can see at the second page, Брагарь Елена Petrovna.
Second page.
She's last
Second
at the
page.
list of.
Right.
이걸 찾아가라는 거 지금 그거 얘기해 주는 거.
Professor Shin, have you
Yes,
entered?
yes.
Okay.
We
So,
are on page 2.
so
We are on the page 2.
page 2, yes.
Yeah.
And the last is our doctoral student, Брагарь Елена. Her dissertation title is Changes in Properties of the Loam Soil Base due to cyclic freezing stowing. Did you see? So, please click to it, and you can find the button.
Conducting defense.
Professor Lee, something
Yeah.
wrong?
No, it's fine. I'm still doing. I'm following. I'm still following you, so it's okay. Please do it.
Изим Насич.
Oh.
Yeah. I
Что
opened
надо
it.
войти, да? На книге.
Да, вы нашли Елену, да?
Да, Брагарь, да, или Брагарь.
Все,
Как
вот
правильно?
выделите ее и сразу справа увидите
Нажать, да?
зеленую кнопку.
Не, надо нажать, да, на это? На Брагарь
Да.
Елена.
So, please push the button conducting a defense.
I did already.
Защита, да.
Okay.
So,
Нажал.
the window showed conducting a defense. У вас открылось окошко, да, Изим Насич?
Нет, не открылся. Я нажал на фамилию.
На фамилию, а теперь сверху зеленую кнопочку видите в виде щита? Зеленая. На нее теперь нажмите.
Да, вижу. Ага.
Вот.
Нажал.
Все.
Вышло проведение защиты.
Вот, все, правильно.
Что надо сделать здесь?
Все. Окей, let's start registration.
Так, все, закрыть, да, пока? Или что?
Все, вам нужно зарегистрироваться.
А что, как зарегистрировать здесь? Проведение защиты. Зарегистрироваться, ага. Попробуем сейчас.
Окей.
А что здесь?
Нажали?
Нажал, но это... Здесь ФИО,
все.
Брагарь.
Да. Окей, профессор Ли. Не надо выходить.
I downloaded the Word file already, so you can let me see.
Okay.
How can I?
You have found the card of doctoral student.
So
Yes? At the site?
등록돼 있는 거지 지금. 레지스터도 써 있잖아.
Professor Wong.
Жабайка, проверьте.
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 Окей.
Проведение защиты.
It's okay?
So,
Yeah.
you have finished. Okay. Let's finish our registration. Thank you very much.
All right.
Oh, it's so difficult.
So
Finally, right?
don't close this window. We will
Right.
start our voting after our discussion. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, good.
So thank you very much.
My congratulations, dear colleagues. We finally can get success. It actually always takes a lot of time for register because we just transformed this platform, and maybe this is not perfect, but our time takes this approach by using internet technology for voting. And if you don't mind, we continue our council meeting. And now I ask you for voting to start our council meeting. Please put your hands up if you don't mind to start. Okay, thank you very much. The defense of this is work of Bрагарь Елена Petrovna, here and after PhD students. The topic is change in properties of the loam soil based due to cyclic freezing throwing, for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy of the educational program of construction educational program. Each member of dissertation council is preliminary provided with the by the abstracts and thesis in 3 languages: Russian, Kazakh, and English. This was prepared in Eurasian National University, and this is defended for the first time. And now I would like to give floor to Secretary of our Council regarding the document submitted by the applicant.
Thank you. Dear colleagues, all documents according to the list of documents to be submitted by the candidate to the dissertation council in the attestation file of the PhD student are present and correspond to the normative requirements, are complete, and the publication correspond to the subject of the thesis. So written reviewers of scientific advisors and official reviewers are available. So you can see this. Excuse me. This is the thesis review of scientific advisor. Excuse me. And also the review from scientific advisor of Kazakhstan. So all documents are full in our dissertation file. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Skarona. Dear colleagues, if you have any question to Secretary regarding the presented documentation by the PhD student, if you have no question, I would like to give floor to Elena Bрагарь for presentation of performed research work, please.
देखो स्पीकर को जे
Хорошо меня слышно? I would like to present my PhD thesis under the title Changes in Properties of the Loam Soil Base Due to Cyclic Freezing Thawing. My scientific supervisor is Professor Askar Jakparovich Jusubekov, and my foreign scientific advisor is Professor Burhima Indranatra from Sydney, Australia. At this slide, contents of my report is presented, and my thesis consists of 4 chapters, and all of them will be discussed today. Sub-zero temperatures in winter are observed in a big area of the globe, including Russia, Kazakhstan, China, USA, and so on. Structures erected in these countries suffer from climatic changes such as freezing thawing. So that can lead to changes in mechanical properties of soils. Also, I would like to demonstrate you 2 examples that is residential complex in Tyumen and foundation slab for a pyrolysis installation in Tobolsk. And both of these structures were erected in our cold region, and in winter period those works were done. Soil bases of these structures that were presented by silty clay loams were subjected to freezing thawing in winter period. After thawing in the spring, structures had a significant settlement and also cracks. Colossal scientific literature review were done to estimate problem of changes in physical and mechanical properties of soils, and it will be discussed next. It should be noted that effect of cycling freezing thawing on changes in void ratio can be called dual. At the loose soils, usually during freezing thawing is compacted, so void ratio decreases. And dense soils during freezing thawing have a tendency for decompaction, so void ratio can increase. It's also noted that during melting of ice license, a network of cracks is formed in the soil as in vertical and horizontal directions, and all of these determines the changes in mechanical properties of soils, and also significant subsidence of thawing soils. Considerable laboratory investigations were done to study the effect of freezing thawing to deformation characteristics of the soils, and as a basic understanding is even a few number of freezing thawing cycles can lead to a significant decrease in elastic modulus. But it should be noted that almost all of this research was conducted on dense soils that usually compacted during freezing thawing. And on the other hand, initially loose soils should show increasing in elastic modulus. Studies of changes in internal friction angle of soil during freezing thawing cycles are quite contradictory. According to some studies, initial friction angle increases, according to others decreases or remain constant. It's generally accepted that with increasing of cycles of freezing thawing, cohesion decreases, but the stabilized value of cohesion is not clear. Also, exciting mathematical models was found at literature review, and the main disadvantage of this models is that it couldn't be used in engineering practice because of they were done only for specified soils with specified physical and mechanical properties. And for example, in human region where I live and work, it couldn't be used. The next goal will be formulated, and the goal of the thesis is to analyze and to develop mathematical dependence of changes in strength and deformation characteristics of loams with different moisture content and void ratio due to cyclic freezing thawing. Also, 7 tasks were formulated, and the main is to develop mathematical models of changes in deformation and strength parameters of soils, and also to propose an algorithm of using these models in engineering practice. 3 research methods were considered for this study, and the laboratory method was chosen as the most simple, and because of opportunity of control initial parameters of the study. The theoretical method was used to develop mathematical models of changes in soil properties, and field methods consist of validation of laboratory and theoretical results at the object. 3-level, 3-factor experiment were conducted at this research, and number of freezing thawing cycles, soil moisture content, and void ratio were chosen as main factors for research. Twin samples were prepared with accordance to Russian standard GOST and with specified void ratio and moisture content. You can see at the slide. Then these samples were put in a box closed system and suffer from 2 freezing thawing cycles. Freezing occurs at temperature minus 20 points degree, and thawing at temperature plus 20 points degree, 12 hours both. To determine strength parameters of the soils, direct shear tests were conducted, and to determine elastic modulus, odometer tests were conducted. To perform mathematical processing of laboratory data results, a program was developed. This program provides 3 options for proceeding the volume of experimental data. It's sum, product, and Taylor series. Vertical deformations of soil samples were obtained, and it should be noted that almost all samples compacted during freezing thawing cycles, up to 3.1%. That could be explained repacking of particles due to thawing of samples by its own weight. Thus, the dependencies of void ratio change on the number of freeze-thaw cycles for loams with different initial parameters. Its moisture content and void ratio were determined, and it's presented on the slide here. It was established that the maximum change of elastic modulus occurs at first to third cycles of freezing thawing, and at further freezing thawing up to 10 cycles, the value of elastic modulus stabilizes. It's also important to know that changes in elastic modulus directly depend on changes in height of specimens, and due to compaction of specimens due to freezing cycles, elastic modulus increases up to 32% after 10 freezing thawing cycles. Next, these data were put into the developed program, and mathematical dependence were obtained. It presented on the slide. This dependence is on base of Taylor series method, and also nomograms were constructed for easier way to use in engineering practice. It has been revealed that the character of change in internal friction angle due to cycling freezing thawing is not obvious. Thus, at first 5 cycles, both increase and decrease of internal friction angle was observed. However, it was observed that after 10 cycles of freezing thawing, internal friction angle either returns to initial value before freezing thawing or increases up to 1.5 times. It's also obvious that cohesion has a tendency to decrease up to 80% due to freezing thawing cycles. Dependence of changes in internal friction angle were determined on basis of Taylor series method in the program, and also nomograms were constructed for further use in engineering practice. It was really hard to determine only one dependence for changes in cohesion, and that's why we have 2 different equations. One equation is presented for loams, stiff loams, and medium hard, and it's based on product method. And for I'm sorry. And for plastic loams, equation is here, and it was based at Taylor series decompaction. Also, the algorithm of incorporating the research results was proposed, and it can be applied to define a physical and mechanical characteristic of soils that suffered from cyclic freezing thawing. And proposed algorithm consists of 3 steps. First step is thermotechnical calculation for determination of soil's freezing depths and also number of freezing thawing cycles due to winter period. And second step is recalculation of physical and mechanical characteristics of the soil, and there is 2 different options. It's using nomograms presented of the PPT, and also using equations. That's what that was presented above. And the third step is performing verifying calculation, deformation of base, stability of slope, and so on, to inform that everything is good. And also this algorithm was used at residential complex in Tumen. This complex had been constructed since 2022, and during construction stage, the maximum settlements was 205 millimeters, but it was just a construction stage. That was because of construction of underground pad during winter period. Loam's soil base was distracted, and I also would like to show you act of implementation for this object. The main conclusions are presented on the slide, and it's necessary to underline that mathematical dependencies of changes in mechanical properties were obtained, and also algorithm of incorporation of changes in physical mechanical characteristics of forms due to cycling, freezing, thawing were offered. It was validated in a multi-apartment residential building located in Tumen, but it should be noted that it was a first validation, and it's necessary to do further work for validation of developed models. 7 articles were published with results of this thesis, including high-ranking journals. I participate in 14 international conferences, and including 17 ARC conference in Astana in 2023, and also Young Gen Technical Conference in Sydney, Australia in 2022. I also would like to say my appreciations to my scientific advisors, and I'm really appreciate to my advisor from Human Industrial University, Professor Yakov Alexandrovich Pronozin, for joint work for many years. And I'm also thankful to my supervisors from Eurasian National University, Professor Askar Japarovich Subekov, and from University of Technology, Sydney, Professor Budhima Idraratna. Thank you for attention.
Thank you very much. Now Q&A period. Dear colleagues, if you have a question regarding the presented work, please ask.
Excuse me, dear Professor Wong, can you switch your camera on? We can't see you.
Hello.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will answer. It's a good presentation, and I can see you have done a lot of work. Actually, you have a lot of data. I look carefully. You have done some experiments on effect of soil density. You're checking how different density of soil, like it's medium stiff, very stiff, and loose, how they are affecting. I mean, how their properties are getting changed under freezing thawing cycle, right? So, but I think it's very interesting data to me, and I believe you can even analyze further. I mean, to me, I mean, that's a suggestion, and even can publish further, in a good journal. But apart from that, I just want to know, like, in terms of your research, what do you think you want to do next? What's your limitation in your own research? What do you think?
Thank you for your question, Professor Gag. And as my future research, I think that at first I will publish all my results because not of all of them are published now, and maybe I will publish a big literature review, as we discussed yesterday. And also I would validate my model to other objects, and also I would like to try to take field samples and also check in the laboratory, not only twin samples as I tested at my thesis.
Okay. My understanding, what I feel is you can think about analyzing from microstructural point of view, your own data, because now you have a macro behavior. Like it's kind of you understand the macro behavior, right? I mean, overall how the deformation is occurring. But interpretation will be quite useful. Interpretation, like if you can do some microstructural analysis, I mean micro characterization further, I think will help. Yeah.
Okay.
In future. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your advice. Recommendation.
Thank you. Professor, please switch off. Thank you. Thank you, Professor. Dear colleagues, any question? Some question, please ask.
I have a question.
Professor
I have a
Shen,
comment. This is Ishishin. I have a comment. See, maybe you can enlarge this screen. I did a similar work for the frost heaving pressure and the stiffness of a compacted roadbed material by filing weight deflectometer test. Okay, so determination of the modulus of elasticity due to the cyclic loading, freezing and thawing. And what I did, we did some freezing test in the room about 2.5 meter by 3 meter by 3 meter. And we made a big freezing chamber. Yeah. Okay. This one is a big freezing chamber. And inside we had a module box. We made a roadbed here, okay? And this side, this falling weight deflectometer, we drop it in the surface of the paved road, and before freezing and then after freezing, and the thawing. So we determined the modulus of elasticity. Let's see. So we measured the modulus of elasticity, and we have a curve like this, okay? And based on that, we calculated the lasting modulus. Let's see. By using the Timosenko equation. Let's see. Just a minute. So anyway, based on the falling weight deflectometer, like this cycle, okay, we find the modulus of elasticity and also the reduction ratio of the modulus of elasticity. Let's see here, okay. Then we found out one cycle we did freezing and thawing, one cycle, 12 hours and 12 hours. Later on, we found out the reducing of modulus of elasticity about 11 to 36%. So very much dropped, But all our the research work was conducted in the freezing chamber, in the big freezing room, about 3 meter by 3 meter by 3 meter, big room like this room, okay, like this room. So we fully control the temperature inside the laboratory. So I don't know, Elena, how you find out the modulus of elasticity from the odometer test? Do you use any equation? Because for me, I use this equation. This equation from the Timosenko, the formula, based on the falling weight deflectometer test. Okay, so how you determined the modulus of elasticity from the odometer test? That's my question.
Thank you for your question, Professor. I just need to open my PPT. Just a moment, please.
Yeah.
So do we see it? I'm sorry. Just a moment, please. Okay, this slide. So to determine the elastic modulus, I tested samples at odometer apparatus by NPP GTEC, and this apparatus can check vertical deformations of the sample due to vertical load, and then to determine.
Okay. Understood. So I did a similar work, and during the falling weight, so I can measure the weight. Okay, load, apply the load, and meanwhile we put in the LVDT to measure the displacement in the vertical, displacement, and based on that we put in the formula, a Timosenko formula, this one. And then we can calculate the modulus of elasticity.
And then to obtain elastic modulus, we used Russian standards GOST named, and elastic modulus is a very normal stresses to relative vertical deformations. So this is the main formula of our Russian standards, and I used just a standard equation from this standard to.
But it's like confined modulus of elasticity, because the horizontally you confined it, right? So your modulus of elasticity would be greater, bigger than in the field, because odometer cell confined it. Okay, I think your value a little high, but it's okay. Confined modulus of elasticity. Right.
Okay, thank you for your recommendation.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Professor Shin. Dear colleagues, any question?
I have a very simple question. Elena, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
How long does it take for your PhD? How long does it take? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years?
Almost 3 years to do laboratory and theoretical work, and more than a year to do writing work, like to write a PhD thesis and so on.
You're a genius. So less than 3 or 4 years, right?
Yes.
So you agree you're a genius, right? You know, another one is I don't want to use the technical part because there was some scientific really others. So what did you learn from this study? And how can you apply your study? Because your study is a pretty much practical research, right? Your research is a little bit practical one.
Thank you for your question, Professor. Yes, my research is practically used, and it can be widely used in not only maybe in human region value, but almost in Russia and also in other countries for checking values of soils parameters after freezing thawing.
Right. You know, so in your study, I think it's enough for PhD thesis, but if you think about it, your study is basically, I did some test and I got that result. I did this test, I got that result. Your study is something like this. For example, I checked the strength during the size the freezing thawing cycles and I got that result. I did the test for oximeter test and I got result. But if you think about the why that kind of behavior occurs, your thesis will be wonderful. I think it's still enough, but for example, I expect the strength decrease due to the freezing thawing, but some of them increase like this. But if we discuss why that kind of behavior occurs, if you mention it that why, your thesis will be exceptional, even though it's still enough. But my comment is clear?
Yes, thank you for your recommendation, Professor.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. Who have any question? Who have more question? Professor Shen.
Yeah, you see that screen now. The number 2 is a plastic limit. I think 0.15. Number 3 is a liquid limit, 0.1 or 0.237. So, and below that, 12.1. That's a percentage. So you put in the not decimal, maybe 15%, and another one is 37%, 27%. You should put 15 and 27, not
Correct.
0.25 or something like that. Okay, so multiply 100 each value. All right, that appropriate. You know, we express like that. Understand? Elena, understand?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for
plastic limit and the liquid limit should be expressed in the percentage.
Okay.
15 and 27, not 0.15 or not 0.227. Okay.
Okay.
Correct
Thank
it.
you.
Sure.
Thank you, Professor, for comment. Please, colleagues, who have a question?
Hello. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. So on this slide, so you show the. Can you hear me? Yeah. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So on this slide, you present the liquid limit, plastic limit, and the plasticity index. So Professor Xin already pointed out the problem of the value. So I have a question: is that have you considered the effect of freeze-thaw cycles on this Atberger number, like the consistency value of plastic limit or liquid limit? It will change with the increase of freeze-thaw cycles. Have you ever measured them?
Thank you, Professor, for your question. These physical properties was constant, and plastic and liquid limit were measured for not totally not wet soil, but then here isn't one more indicator, liquidity index, and it will be depend from I'm sorry, previous one slide. From initial moisture content, and we studied 3 levels of moisture content. It's presented here, and liquidity index was depend from initial moisture content.
Okay, yeah, thank you for your answer. Yeah, so I finished my PhD in 8 years ago. So yeah, my interest is about the frozen soil, the strength of frozen soil, and the stiffness of frozen soil. So yeah, during my defense, the one professor asked me that. So we should consider the some physical properties change after freezing, such as the gradation and sometimes something like the plastic limit and liquid limit. Yeah, so I ask the same question. So there is another question is about that. About its methodology. So after several freeze-thaw cycles, so you investigate the compression behavior, and you perform direct shear test. So for freezing and for thawing, it's both 12 hours. So after 12 hours of thawing, you perform the test immediately, or maybe you will wait a long time? Will you wait? How long you wait after the thawing?
This box closed system was put into the refrigerator with temperature minus 20 points degree, and because of not big sizes of these samples, it was enough 12 hours to froze these samples. And after that, these samples were put in the room conditions with temperature plus 20 points degree for 12 hours to thaw. And it was also enough for thawing of these samples, because samples is not really big for shear test and for odometer test. So the height of the sample is 35 and 25 millimeters respectively.
Okay, thank you for your answering. And in your thesis, you mentioned you performed polynomial fitting or Taylor series fitting. So which software or which you use to do such analysis?
Thank you for your question. So I think that you mean these options of mathematical model. Almost all of parameters for all of parameters, I used Taylor series option because of more big accuracy of this model. But for cohesion, it was quite difficult to use only one model. So it was decided to use two different models. And for stiff and medium hard loams product model were used, and for plastic loams, Taylor series was used.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, thank you very much.
I'm sorry. Colleagues told me a little bit of your question. This program was made by ours, and we use Delphi 7 to write this program and to calculate approximate coefficients for these three options, three models.
Okay, yeah.
Elena, I have another comment. Okay. See that
Okay.
I looked through your PhD thesis, and you use the terminology loam soil. Normally in the USA and the other country, loam soil, the terminology of loam soil we use in the agriculture, purpose. But the ASTM or some America or Korea, many countries, we maybe use silty clay or something. And also I cannot see like this. Can you enlarge it? You need a grain size distribution curve, okay, gradation curve. In your thesis, I cannot find the grain size distribution curve, okay? So please
Okay.
put this, all right? You understand? Grain size distribution, like this. Grain size distribution, okay?
Okay, thank you for
put it.
recommendation.
Then we can say this is a silty clay or silt or something, I think this is a very typical soil in Siberia area. But internationally, we'd rather use silty clay or something, not loam soil, okay? So you
Okay.
aware of that problem, okay? So maybe Russia, Kazakh, maybe loam is okay, but in other publication in the other international journal, you should put maybe silty clay or something, the terminology. More like ASTM or Ashato, so some other, standard, all right? Unified Soil Classification System, USCS or something. So I suggest you to put this gradation curve in your thesis, okay? Thank you.
Professor, thank you very much for recommendation, but I ask dear colleagues put some recommendation in discussion session. Now is question session. Please, colleagues who have question. No, if you have no, I have one question. Could you please say what's the correlation factor between your polynomial function and data points which you get by laboratory? Correlation factor is probably approximation factor you said before, some else. How correspond data points to this function?
Just a moment, please. Thank you for a question. The mistake was about 20 to 25% between laboratory data and mathematical calculating data.
Okay, but I mean regarding point one, it means okay. You have a very good correspondence, but I also noticed you used only 10 cycle during the test, only 10. But in real it's not enough for forecast, for predict what will happen in a long time elapsed. And then I ask you, how about prediction? Because you use polynomial function of Taylor. It's how it's work. This function works for prediction, because I noticed you have fluctuation of your data points. It's not like a straight line. It's not like hyperbola. It's fluctuation. It means your function also fluctuate, not straight line. Or you understand me, right?
Yes.
And what about the forecast for the future?
Okay, thank you for your question. I just need to add maybe some information. In literature review, I read a lot of papers with different numbers of freezing thawing cycles. And mostly after 10 freezing thawing cycles, values of mechanical and physical parameters remain constant. And that's why I, in this research, 10 cycles was chosen as the maximum value of cycles. And as your question, this program, Taylor series, will work only on this range of values for freezing thawing cycles from 0 to 10, not prediction for more cycles.
Okay, thank you. No, you means it's for interpolation, but not for extrapolation.
Yes.
Yes, it's good. It's right. But and you also said usually 10 cycling is enough for because some properties in your case is cohesion and friction angle and elastic modulus stabilizing. But as I said before, I cannot see stabilization. It still fluctuates from the straight line. Usually stabilization means straight line in your diagrams. Okay, it's not a question. I just asking why you stopped the test without stabilization. If it's enough or make some prediction. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I have no question. I think we finish this session. It's too much, a lot of questions. And next, I would like to give floor for the scientific advisor, Professor Askar Jusubekov, please.
Thank you, Chairman, for giving time for giving some letter of confirmation about scientific dissertation thesis of Yana Bрагарь. So this is full. My letter of confirmation has already in secretariat of this dissertation committee. So I want to say some additional words, especially this thesis more related with together with Russia and Kazakhstan. You know, is during time of Lena come to our geotechnical institute, we discuss with especially Tyumen University Professor Pronozin about topic, about title of her dissertation. Finally, we find this topic because it's important for Russia and also for Kazakhstan, especially for investigations of properties of cycling, forces of freezing and also saving. So anyway, she made great job because it is not so easy to work with main laboratory test, especially for soil sampling, and also very good, finally good results, especially not only for Russia, also for Kazakhstan, because the weather Tyumen and also Astana is similar, and soil ground also some places also some similarity. So usually I also learn from this job because we have big project now in Pavlodar. So we have also very big problem of cycle, influence the cycling of freezing and saving. So we want to understand it is increase of mechanical properties or decrease. So it is very interesting for not only for designing and also for construction company. So also she published several papers. One of some of them in Q1. It is very nice, especially for PhD students published in Q1. It's very good. And also she helped us, especially for our department. We participated in Sydney Conference 2022. So she also was one of members of our delegation because she was PhD students. And after that, make internship program in Australia together with another students, Askar Sintaev. And I remember I asked my delegations, bring national dress. We have Belarusian dress, Kyrgyz dress, Uzbek dress, Kazakh dress. Finally, we find Russian dress, very nice dress, Elena. Maybe you use dress only in Australia, not in Russia, right? But anyway, surprise, Russian dress is very heavy there, about 10 kilogram, maybe more than 10 kilogram. So our stand was like headquarter of this conference. And Professor Shin was one of very popular member of our exhibition. So anyway, this dissertation, one of good, important for not only for, already I told, not only for Russia, also for Kazakhstan, maybe another country, because now many countries has some climate change. And her dissertation thesis, one of prepared by using of high-level writing by English, because he's a second advisor, Professor Buthima, checked and said it's very good English and also very good scientific. So it is one of important, so related with our requirement of our committee of controlling of quality of dissertation of Minister of Education. So I think she can to be PhD by specialty of civil engineering. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Thank you, Professor Askar Parovich. And unfortunately, foreign scientific advisor is absent today by the valid reason. And I would like to give floor to Secretary to reading his review.
PhD thesis review, name of candidate Bрагарь Елена Petrovna. The first significance and benefit of the PhD thesis topic, changes in properties of loam soil base due to cycling, freezing, thawing. In the winter months, sub-zero temperatures occurred in many nations. Soils such as loams in these regions are subjected to repeated freezing thawing cycles over many years. This results in the change of physical and mechanical characteristics, also affecting the geotechnical properties such as compressibility and shear strength parameters, influencing various earth structures in terms of deformation and plastic yielding. Currently, there is no comprehensive or unified approach to quantify the variation in deformation and strength characteristics due to cycling, freezing, thawing behavior. This PhD thesis offers new knowledge to assist better progress in design and construction practice when building civil infrastructure over such affected loamy soils. Professor matched the quality of scientific findings as PhD requirements. Like thesis is well written and contains original work. In the technical content extends the current knowledge of the geotechnical behavior of loamy soils affected by cycling, freezing, thawing phenomenon. These peer-reviewed publications reflect the students' original efforts, like in Scopus and Web of Science. Degree of originality and innovation of the research efforts and the validity and credibility of the results as presented in this PhD thesis. The candidate had successfully planned and executed a laboratory experimentation program efficiently. She has considered in her experimental phases the role of the void ratio, soil moisture content, and the number of freezing thawing cycles, which includes the technical behavior. The candidate had developed the mathematical model that represents the main aspect of soil behavior, including consolidation and shear strength. Based on her work, the candidate has finally presented a comprehensive algorithm that can be incorporated in infrastructure design, offering sustained benefits for engineering practice. Scientific advancement through this PhD thesis. As stated earlier, changes in physical, mechanical, and geotechnical properties of loamy soils affected by cyclic freezing thawing did not represent a well-established, unified, or integrated mathematical formulation or constitutive relations which could be used in the design of civil infrastructure, including buildings and transport corridors. In this PhD thesis, the candidate had developed some rigorous mathematical models to capture the soil characteristics and their variation as influenced by continual freeze-thawing cycles. The governing equations of these mathematical models are subsequently captured in future numerical modeling. Moreover, the PhD thesis will assist our other students to continue this work in the future. Practical and theoretical significance. Stated earlier, the author has completed a substantial doctoral effort leading to original results that have significant implications on future transformations of conventional engineering practices. For instance, the algorithm presented towards to the end of this thesis is a testimony to an insightful understanding as well as providing quantified explanations of the changes in strength and deformation characteristics of soil, such as the loam tested therein under cycling freezing thawing. The mathematical formulation presented in the thesis can be captured in design and adopting to improve engineering practice as well as to use as a predictive tool for validating the performance of building and other forms of infrastructure built on such soil terrains. Comments on potential improvements. The technical contents of the thesis is excellent, and the candidate has completed a PhD thesis of high quality. Upon thoroughly examining the thesis report, reviewer can definitely assert that the candidate has performed to the expected standard of PhD, and she should be ready for her defense on this doctoral thesis. Concluding remarks for awarding the degree PhD. The thesis presented by the candidate Bрагарь Елена Petrovna is an excellent contribution in the field of geotechnical engineering, and it fulfills the expected requirements of a PhD standard. I recommend that the candidate be conferred for the Doctor of Philosophy degree in the specialized field of geotechnics incorporated in the substrate construction. Attestation by foreign scientific advisor, Professor Budima Inraratna, Faculty of Engineering and Information Technology, University of Technology, Sydney, Australia.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Secretary. Next, I would like to give floor to official reviewer John Sabli, PhD Professor, School of Civil, Environmental and Architectural Engineering, Korea University.
Let me see. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
I mentioned already. I briefly read that you don't need to read all of them, but I'll say, her research is very comprehensive in practical research, and because also it takes time to freezing sowings, and also actually it's very cumbersome research. So, but I thought it is enough for the PhD thesis because she published the journal papers and also she present several conferences. So I think that is a pretty much good thesis. Congratulations. I think we don't need to do because I already sent all documents. I don't know the process, but if you want.
Professor, you needn't read all of your review. You just can indicate some points, interested you points regarding the thesis.
Okay, so because it's the first time for the PhD test. I'm not familiar with this kind of systems, but I may say like the first one. Let's start from the number one. Okay, it's okay.
Okay, Professor.
Okay. Can you move your file up? No, opposite. Yeah. The first one, the topic of the dissertation, I think that one is enough for the as a PhD thesis. And actually, number 3 is important. The level of independence is may I see the number 3? It's a very high, so I think that is a good. And also, how can I say it? Like that. You may need to read it or not.
No, Professor. You can briefly explain your attendance to this. This is not enough. No, you needn't read all of this.
Because this time like the thesis is first time for me. So, and also number 4, principle of internal unity. There actually is a very unit, and then substance of the relevance of dissertation is justified, and also the purpose and objective of the corresponding the topic of the dissertation. This is also, how can I say? It's very clear because the freezing sewing's behavior. Actually, I did many times of the freezing sewing behaviors to measure like the how can I say, to see the very small scale behaviors, but that one is a little bit, even though you said like the micro behaviors, but this one is a little macro behavior. So I like that this type of the behaviors. And also number 5, principle of scientific novelities. That one is I don't know about the scientific or engineering because it define the definition a little bit different. It depends on the country by countries. But this study is pretty much engineering. How can I say that? Has a novelty. It's a practical one. But I mentioned it because I'm not familiar with this kind of systems, but I always said that if you want to say the scientific, you should answer the why, but this one is a very, very practical one, but it's still enough for the PhD thesis. And also number 6, validated main conclusion. Main conclusions are based on the scientifically significant evidence and are well found enough, and that means there is we mentioned well clearly. Let me see. I think the other one is enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. I would like to give floor for Yelena. Do you have some remarks?
Okay, thank you, Professor, very much for your review and for positive opinion about my thesis. And it's really important for me to have a review from professor of Korea University. Thank you.
Thank you, Елена. Next, I would like to give floor to the official reviewer, Дюсенбаев Изим Насиевич, Doctor of Technical Science, Professor, Department of Construction Engineering, Yusenov University.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Professor, everything okay.
Okay. Hayırlı günler arkadaşlar. Dear members of the Dissertation Council, dear colleagues, as you know, the review consists of an assessment of the compliance of the results of the dissertation with the criteria of the rules for awards degree. So the first criterion is the topic of the dissertation corresponded to the direction of scientific development. Answer is paragraph 3. The dissertation corresponds to the priority direction of science development approved by the High Scientific Technical Commission under the government of the Republic Kazakhstan. 2. Importance to science. The work makes a significant contribution to science and its importance is well disclosed. 3. The principle of independence. The level of independence is high. 4. The principle of internal unity. Substantiation of the relevance of dissertation is justified. Then 4.2, the content of the dissertation reflects the topic of the dissertation is reflects. Subparagraph 4.3, the purpose and objectives correspondent to the topic of the dissertation. Answer is corresponded to. Subscription 4.4, all sections and provisions of the dissertation are logically interrelated, completely interconnected. Next, 4.5, the new solutions proposed by the author, principal methods are reasoned and evaluated in comparison with no solution. The answer is there is a critical analysis. Paragraph 5 and subparagraph 5.1. Are the scientific results and provision new? Answer is completely new. 2.2. Are the conclusions of the dissertation new? Yes, completely new. 5.3. Technological, economic, and managerial discussion are new or and justified. Answer: partially new. 25 to 75% are new. 6. Validity of main conclusions. The main conclusions of the thesis are based on scientifically strong evidence. Paragraph 7. The main provisions submitted for protection. Protections. This is 7.1 is a position proved. Yes, proved. Answer. 7.2. Is it trivial? Answer. No. 3.7.3. Is it new? Yes, it is new. 4.7.4. Level of applications. The wider answers. 7.5 is proved is in the article. Answer is yes. And paragraph 8, the principle of reliability. The choice of methodology is justified or methodology is described in sufficient detail? Answer, yes. 8, 2. The results of the dissertation work were obtained using modern research methods and methods of data processing and interpretation using computer technology. Yes. 8.3. Theoretical conclusion, modern identified relationships and patterns have been proven and confirmed by experimental. Yes, theoretical conclusion revealed interrelations and regulations are proved and confirmed. And then 8, paragraph 8, the principle of practical value. The dissertation has theoretical significance. Answer yes. Answer yes is yes. 9.2, dissertation is practically important, and there is a high probability of applying the results obtained in practice. Yes. So, notes and the decision of the official reviewer. The thesis of Bragarь Elena Petrovna on the topic change in properties of the long soil base due to cycle freezing thawing, submitted for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the educational program 8D07329 construction, is a completed research work and fully meets the requirements for the works for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. The thesis has a practical significance and high relevance, scientific novelty of the obtained data. The author of the thesis, Bragarь Elena Petrovna, is recommended to award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, in the educational program 8D07329 construction. Thank you very much for attention.
Thank you, Professor Zemnasievich. To respond to the comments of the official reviewer, the floor is given to the student.
Thank you very much, Zemnasievich, for your review. And it's really important for me that you think that my PhD thesis fully comply with all principles of PhD thesis defense. And also, I would like that I hope that we can work together and discuss maybe next mathematical program that I sent you yesterday. So
thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we go into discussion session, and all of the participants, thank you, all of the participants can part in this session and can express their opinion regarding the dissertation and give maybe some recommendation. Please, colleagues, who wants to speak, who wants to tell something?
I may comment. This is Ishishin. I have a comment. You say they're all reviewer, official reviewer, and also then temporary member of a review committee. We already discussed, about your thesis, which I talk about, put in the photographs of a grain size distribution, and also was the terminology of loam, your soil, you got to define it, and also how you find out, the modulus of elasticity. I think that we later use a constrained modulus of elasticity, because the odometer cell, you press from the vertical and you confine it, in the meantime. So maybe use the constrained modulus of elasticity. And also, Professor Budiman, he talked about something, under your figure, you have a lot of some equations or very long lengthy equations in your graph, He wants you to drop it, remove it, put in the your body of the manuscript, like this. So some things with some reviewer comment you got to take into account, when you the correction of your finalized thesis, then would be very good thesis, you made a great effort to have a high quality of a PhD dissertation, so I really congratulate for your effort and dedication. So Elena, I congratulate you. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. Yes, you're absolutely right. We call this oedometer modulus. We also have some plant test in field, and we usually use Abelian coefficient for transition from the oedometer modulus to field Young modulus. And also we have some coefficient to transform oedometer modulus to triaxial modulus also. And for example, in Plexus, we use both modulus in some models. Oedometer and triaxial. Thank you very much. In any case, please, colleagues, who want to make some.
I have a very short comment. I'm Jong-Sun Lee. Actually, first on, I do apologize for my inadequate review of the dissertation because, as it was my first time conducting academic evaluation based on some kind of specific criteria. And also, since this was also my first time participating in PhD defense in Kazakhstan, so I was unsure to proper procedures because it's the first time to join as a PhD the committee. So it seems but if I have opportunity to participate in the degree evaluation again, I believe I'll do much better. And for the Elena, I think I already mentioned it's much better enough for the PhD thesis. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Professor. Professor Inkibaev, Serik Shingalevich.
Thank you. Dear friends, dear Helena, dear participants of the dissertation committee, thank you very much. So I would like to say that it's my first time of the participating as chairman, as a member of the dissertation committee, as a temporary member, as a full member of the dissertation committee. So thank you very much. For me, it's very important because I remember that my defense of the thesis was also in this room. And so I'm glad to see you, Professor Jong-Soo Lee and Professor Shin. And I would like to say about the dissertation of Elena Bragarь, I see that you made very hard work, and especially you made, I had a question about the monitoring of the settlement of the residential complex in Tumen, but I found later I was found the answered inside of your presentation. So I see that you made a lot of work here, like laboratory work, many calculation, many analysis work, and also field work. So I think it's enough for PhD dissertation, and I will improve your work, and I will improve you as a scientist. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor Yankibayev Serik. Please, who want to speak?
Да, докторов, садитесь лучше, да. Докторов PhD, associate professor Павла. Выключи.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. Probably somewhere it's morning, I don't know, or maybe late evening. I am Tokpataeva Raihan. I'm a doctor of philosophy, also PhD in construction and materials area. I came from Purdue University here for a while as a guest lecturer. So I am very pleased to participate here in this defense because first of all, I just wanted to see what is the difference or what might be some similarities compared to the system that I came from. And also, I'd like to congratulate Elena. I think you did a really great job and a lot of work, a lot of hard work. At the same time, I'm very pleased to hear a lot of nice constructional reviews here and the comments. So I think if you apply your comments in your work, I think you had very nice piece of work and very nice publication probably. And I'm very pleased to participate here and to meet all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Who wants to speak? Elena, today I saw very good presentation. My congratulations. You made a lot of research work and you used very hard mathematical approach to get to resolve the problem in this research. And in the future, I wish you to continue work with this research and not restricted by preparing the papers, as you said before, but continue work because there is a lot of research which you can get in the future, and I wish you to continue, for example, in post PhD if you have this option in Russian, or you may continue maybe in Kazakhstan if we have this option. In any case, I wish you to get high success in your field. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, colleagues. And now sorry, yes. And next I would like to give floor to Elena Bрагарь for the final speech. For closing remarks, please.
Thank you. Actually, I would like to say my appreciations to my scientific advisors, as I told during my presentation, and I think that they are very important people for me, and I am really glad to work with Professor Pronozin and Professor Jasubekov, and also with Professor Idoratna too. Also, I would like to say some appreciations to Dissertation Council for today defense, and I'm really happy to hear many positive words about my dissertation. Also, I would like to say appreciations to universities where I study and work. It's Eurasian National University, where I study for 3 years in PhD as PhD student, and I'm really thankful to Human Industrial University for paying for my education here. And also I would like to appreciate my colleagues from both universities for helping in testing, helping with theoretical part, and also for helping with documents for this defense. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we go on to voting, and I ask the audience leave this room, except members. Да, пожалуйста, можете, давайте сейчас будет голосование. Скажет Парыч, сейчас голосование, да. Так. Dear colleagues, now it's time to voting, and I would like to give floor to Secretary for instruction.
Dear colleagues, please, let's start secret voting because it is necessary to select a doctoral student. Oh, excuse me. So, okay. So this is our window, yes, on our platform. So it is smart, the platform that where you have registered to our committee. So can you enter this platform? Зимнасиевич? Ага.
Запустите голосование, просто его еще нет. Могли голосовать. Все. Да, все, сейчас они сейчас увидят. Ага.
Да, открыто.
So we can start our voting on the platform Smart INU, where we have registered before at the beginning of our committee. So the voting window open. Is it open?
Yeah, open now. Здесь говорит скачать пароль. Пароль керек пе жоқ па?
Так, кіру керек?
Скачать деген, да? Мынау бар екен.
Нет, скачивать не надо.
Ну, пароль тұр мында, скопировал.
Астында барасыз?
Тек мынау ма, присудить степень доктора деген, соны басам ғой. Болды ма?
As you see, at the end of the window, there is some areas for your vote. So, award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. The next, send the thesis for revision. The next, to send the thesis for redefense, and to refuse to award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. So, just choose one of 4 of decision and make your just choose one of this. Professor Lee, is it okay? We don't hear you. Please switch on your microphone.
Okay. I see. I did already, but let me see. Let me try again. Okay. Well, how do I?
Because at the beginning I was confused.
Vote dissertation. Vote.
Vote. Choose the option you need.
Let me see.
Регистр voted. Ты проголосовал, да? У меня просто не обновилось.
Where do I push the vote?
Excuse me, yes. I just
I did
refresh
already.
my site. Sorry. Ага, так, все.
Yeah, I did already. Correct,
All,
right?
all of members voted except me. So sorry.
Yeah, correct.
Так. Никто не видит, что я голосую против.
정부 박사 없으면 아무것도 못하겠다.
너무 어렵습니다.
Так, а где Ролан? Ага. So, thank you for your voting. And as you see, the result of our process is all members of our dissertation council have vote to award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD. Thank you very much. So I call Елена and we finish our committee. Just a minute.
Okay.
Все, закончили? Закончили, да, звать?
Так, а мне куда? Мне еще стоять или...
Dear colleagues, voting is completed. Results of voting of the resolution on the request for the award of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD. Award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, 9 persons. Send the thesis for revision, no person. To send the thesis for redefense, no person. Refuse to award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, no person. My congratulations, Елена. Yes. And next we go into discuss about conclusion. Oh yeah. And also I ask all of you to vote who for the approving of our voting. Please up put your hands up. Изим Насевич, да, мы утверждаем сейчас в результате голосования 9 человек за, 0 человек против. Так, все за, да? Okay, thank you very much. All of the dissertation committee members agree with the results of voting. And next, I would like to give floor for the secretary for conclusion of our committee, our session.
Conclusion on the dissertation council on the thesis of Bрагарь Елена Petrovna on the topic changes in properties of the long soil based due to cyclic freezing thawing for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy on the educational program 8D073 construction. The first, relevance of the research topic. Sub-zero temperatures in winter affect vast regions globally, including Russia, USA, Canada, and others. In these areas, foundation soils and earthwork structures are exposed to cyclic freezing thawing processes, varying moisture levels and water pressure, leading to significant deterioration in geotechnical properties. This results in soil having thawing subsidence and damage to foundations of buildings, roads, pipelines, and dams. Designing structures in such regions requires accounting for potential reductions in soil strength and deformation characteristics due to freezing thawing cycles. Additionally, the stability of slopes, trenches, and embankments is often compromised, as their design typically does not consider these cyclic processes, leading to changes in soil properties over time. The issue of soil property changes during freezing thawing cycles has been studied globally, but challenges remain due to soil diversity and the lack of a universal method to accurately predict these changes. This problem is particularly relevant for loams, a common soil type in regions like the Tumen region, where their mechanical properties can vary significantly with consistency and environmental conditions. As construction often spans multiple reasons, understanding and mitigating the effect of freezing thawing cycles on soil stability remains a critical area of research. The second, scientific results and their validity. The main provisions proven scientific hypotheses of other conclusions that are new knowledge put forward for defense. You can see seven points, seven issues, and in general, the validity of the scientific result obtained and presented in the thesis work was ensured by the use of modern devices and technical equipment and well-known experimental methods of research. The main provisions of the thesis have been published in well-known cited journals and discussed in a number of international and scientific practical conferences. All this gives a basis to consider the obtained result as sufficiently justified. The third, practical application of scientific results. The results of the PhD thesis also obtain practical significance for the geotechnical industry. Practical significance consists in proposed algorithm for usage of changes in physical and mechanical characteristics of loams due to cyclic freezing thawing, which can be used in engineering practice for verification calculations, development of preventive measures, and emergency response. The fourth, theoretical significance of scientific results. In theoretical significance of the scientific result lies in the advancement of understanding the behavior of loam soils under cyclic freezing thawing conditions, which is critical for geotechnical engineering in cold regions. The study develops mathematical models that describe changes in strength characteristic, providing a predictive framework for soil behavior under extreme climatic conditions. By identifying patterns in the evolution of soil properties, such as wall ratio and moisture content, the research contributes to the fundamental knowledge of soil mechanics and offers basis for the future studies on other soil types and environmental scenarios. These findings not only enhance the theoretical understanding of soil response to climatic cycles, but also lay the groundwork for improving the design and durability of infrastructure in cold climates. The fifth, implementation and the educational process. The results of this research can be effectively integrated into the educational process by incorporating the developed mathematical models and experimental findings into geotechnical engineering curricula, particularly in courses related to soil mechanics, foundation design, and cold region engineering. The sixth, compliance of publications with the requirements of the rules for awarding degrees of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The candidate has published 7 scientific articles on the subject of the thesis, corresponding to the requirements of the rules for awarding degrees of the ministry, including 3 articles in the proceedings and international and national conferences held in Kazakhstan and abroad, 2 articles in international peer-reviewed scientific journals included in the Scopus database, and 2 articles in other peer-reviewed scientific journals and books. The 7th, Conclusion of the dissertation council on awarding the degree. Thesis by Bрагарь Елена Petrovna on the topic of changes in properties of the loam soil base due to cyclic freezing thawing proposes an algorithm for taking into account changes in physical and mechanical characteristics of loam due to cyclic freezing thawing, which can be used in engineering practice for verification and calculations, development for preventive measures and emergency response measures. The performed work can be characterized as a study that has scientific significance and practical value, which confirms compliance with all the requirements of the rules for awarding degrees of the Committee for Quality Assurance in the field of science and higher education of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Based on the above, public defense reviews of scientific advisors and official reviews, as well as the result of the secret voting, the dissertation council in the direction of training, architecture and construction at the Gumilev Eurasian National University decides to award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy to Bрагарь Елена Petrovna on the educational program 8D07329 construction. The classification attribute of the thesis. 8.1. The nature of the result of the thesis. The solution of the scientific problem has an important social and economical significance. The dissertation research is a significant contribution to the solving the problems of change in the properties of loam soil foundation as a result of cycling, freezing, thawing with the use of three-factor, three-level experiment to assess the changes in the strength of and the deformation characteristics of loamy soil, of variable porosity and moisture content. The work offers solutions to improve the quality and efficiency of construction process. 8.2, the level of the novelty of the result of the thesis. 8.2.3, the results are new. The main scientific results and provision of the dissertation work are new, and that the obtained data make a certain contribution to the geotechnical design of foundation composed of loamy soils subjected to cyclic freezing and thawing. The scientific novelty consists in the development of mathematical dependencies of changes in strength and deformation characteristics during cycle freezing thawing of loamy soils, taking into account the initial porosity, coefficient and soil moisture, as well as revealing the irregularities in their changes. 8.3, value of the results of the thesis. 8.3.2, satisfactory. The dissertation work has significant value both from the scientific and practical points of view. The main results of the thesis consist in the development of mathematical prediction of changes in strength and deformation property of loamy soil subjected to cycling, freezing and thawing, which is valuable for most of the country. 8.4, relation to the thesis topic to the plant studies. 8.4.1, the topic is included in the state and regional scientific and technical programs in the national research program. The thesis corresponds to the priority direction of science, geology, extraction and processing of mineral and hydrocarbon raw materials, new materials, technologies, safe products and structures approved by the higher scientific and technical commissions for 2023 to 2025. The level of implementation utilization of the results of the thesis having applied significance and recommendation for the extended utilization of the results of the thesis having applied significance. 8.5.3, industry-wide. The results of the dissertation research have practical significance and high probability for application in the design of technical objects of climatic conditions in cyclic freezing and thawing of soil. The proposed model of calculation of mathematical dependencies of changes in strength and deformation characteristic as a result of negative cyclic impact can be implemented as a design predictive tool in design organization to improve the quality and durability of geotechnical and not only structures. Chairman of Dissertation Council, Lukpanov Rowan, Scientific Secretary of Dissertation Council, Jumagulova Adia. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary. Dear colleagues, if you have some comments regarding this conclusion, you can express your thoughts. If you have some point of view to changing of the items, some items of this conclusion, you please don't hesitate to express your thoughts, express your recommendation. But if you have some recommendation for changing items of this conclusion, we leave without some correction this final conclusion of our committee, council, sorry. Okay, colleagues, if you have if you agree with this conclusion, I ask you to voting. Open voting, please put your hands up who agreed to leave this conclusion without any changes. Please put your hands up. Thank you very much, colleagues. We have undivided opinion. Nine members agreed for leave this conclusion without changes. Dear colleagues, once again, I express my deep thanks for all of you to having time to be today part of of our council meeting, and I also congratulate aspirants. Thank you very much. Thank you, colleagues. Now we finished our meeting.
Dear professors, thank you.
Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
Thank you and
Thank you
congratulations.
very much.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
for your time, Изим Насиевич.
Да. Спасибо всем. Рахмет, бәріңізге де. Сау болыңыз, аман болыңыз.
Рахмет.
Келесі кездескенше.
Professor Wong, thank you. Запись. О, боже мой. Все.